Hi students, today we move on to the second part of the lesson Sound of Music, the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. Bismillah Khan's original name was Ghamaruddin Khan. He was an Indian musician credited with popularizing the Shehnai, elevating its status and bringing it to the concert stage. He is often referred to by the title Ustad. We move on to the lesson. Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of a musical instrument called pungi in the royal residence, for it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. Banned means officially prohibit. So there was a musical instrument called pungi, and Emperor Aurangzeb officially prohibited it in the royal residence. Royal residence, the official residence of the ruling monarch. And why did he ban it? Because it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. Pungi became the generic name for reeded noisemakers. And thereafter, pungi became the generic name. Generic means a name given to a class or a group as a whole. Pungi became a name to refer to noisemakers, reeded noisemakers. What do you mean by reeded? Reeded means wind instruments which have reeds like the flute, the clarinet, etc. So the word pungi came to refer to noisemakers. Let me put it in simple words. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. So Emperor Aurangzeb had banned it, and very few people had thought that, or no, few had thought means actually nobody thought that it would one day be revived. Revived means refreshed. A barber of a family of professional musicians who had access to the royal palace decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. A barber of a family of professional musicians, people who have taken music as their profession, professional musicians. The barber who belonged to a family of professional musicians who had access to the royal palace. Access means the opportunity to approach. Anybody cannot go into a royal palace, right? So he had approach to the royal palace. So such a barber decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi and made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. When he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were produced. He played the instrument before royalty and everyone was impressed. Royalty means members of the royal family. So he made a new instrument and played soft and melodious music on it and impressed the members of the royal family. The instrument, so different from the pungi, had to be given a new name. As the story goes, since it was first played in the Shah's chambers and was played by a nai means barber, the instrument was named the Shehnai. So that is how that new instrument got the name Shehnai. So you can underline those lines. Since it was first played in the Shah's chambers and was played by a nai, the instrument was named the Shehnai. So it was to look at it is different. From the picture it is very clear, and also the sound that it produced. Pungi produced a shrill, unpleasant sound, while Shehnai produced soft, melodious music. The sound of the Shehnai began to be considered auspicious. Auspicious means favorable or promising to bring good fortune. And for this reason, it is still played in temples and is an indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. And for this very reason that it is auspicious, it is still played in temples and is an indispensable component. Indispensable means which cannot be avoided, without which a piece of work cannot be done. You cannot think of a North Indian wedding without the playing of Shehnai. Component means part. Okay. In the past, the Shehnai was part of the Naubat or traditional ensemble of 9 instruments found at royal courts. So in the past, Shehnai was part of Naubat. Naubat means musical instruments or traditional ensemble. Look at the pronunciation. Spelling is Ensemble. but it is pronounced ensemble. And what does that mean? Here it means instruments considered as a group. So a group of 9 instruments. So this was a part of that, and it was found at royal courts. Till recently, it was used only in temples and weddings. So till very recent past, it was used only in temples and weddings. Its use was limited to temples and weddings. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. To that extent that we can say that his name is synonymous with Shehnai. The moment someone says the word Shehnai, or the moment you hear Shehnai being played, you are reminded of Ustad Bismillah Khan. As a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played Gilli Danda near a pond in the ancient estate of Jimrao in Bihar, his birthplace. He would regularly go to the nearby Biharaji temple to sing the Bhojpuri Chaita, at the end of which he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.25 kg, a prize given by the local Maharaja. So Chaita is a folk song, nothing else to be explained there. This happened 80 years ago, and the little boy has travelled far to earn the highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. So from that stage, which happened 80 years ago, where he used to go, where he used to sing the Bhojpuri Chaita in a temple in Bihar, he has come to this level that he has received the highest civilian award in India. Civilian refers to a person not in the armed service or police force. Anyone who is not in the armed service or police force, you call him a civilian. So this is the highest civilian award given in India, the Bharat Ratna. And to whom is this award given? It's given in recognition of exceptional service or performance of the highest order in any field of human endeavor. And anyone is eligible without distinction of race, occupation, position, gender or religion. So, Ustad Bismillah Khan is a recipient of Bharat Ratna. Born on 21st March 1916, Bismillah belongs to a well-known family of musicians from Bihar. His grandfather, Rasul Baksh Khan, was the Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur King's Court. His father, Paigamba Baksh, and other paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai players. Paternal ancestors means ancestors of father, from the father's side. Paternal means father's side. The young boy took to music early in life. So he had it is inherent in his family, he has inherited the talent from his ancestors. It's very clear. The young boy took to music early in life. At the age of 3, when his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house, maternal again means mother's side, in Benares, now Varanasi, that is Benares, is now called Varanasi. Bismillah was fascinated watching his uncles practice the Shehnai. Soon, Bismillah started accompanying his uncle, Ali Baksh, to the Vishnu temple of Benares, where Baksh was employed to play the Shehnai. Ali Baksh would play the Shehnai, and Bismillah would sit captivated for hours on end. Captivated means attracted. So he will sit there attracted for hours on end as a boy. So that also shows he was that much interested in music. Slowly, he started getting lessons in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. For years to come, the temple of Balaji and Mangalamaya and the banks of the Ganga became the young apprentice's favorite haunts where he could practice in solitude. Apprentice means a learner or a trainee, and haunts a place frequented by a person. So here, the banks of Ganga became the favorite haunt of this young apprentice. Who is this young apprentice? Yes, Bismillah Khan. Why? Because he could practice in solitude. Solitude means loneliness. The flowing waters of the Ganga inspired him to improvise and invent ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of the Shehnai. Improvise means create and perform without any preparation, on the spot preparation. Invent also means create. So the flowing waters of Ganga, usually you say the music of river. So the flowing waters of Ganga inspired him to create or invent ragas on his own without any preparation, and which these ragas were earlier considered to be beyond the range of Shehnai. People thought that that is a limit of Shehnai. You cannot play such ragas and you cannot go beyond this. But Bismillah Khan invented new ragas which was earlier considered to be beyond the power of Shehnai. At the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle to the Allahabad Music Conference. At the end of his recital, Ustad Fayaz Khan patted the young boy's back and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." With the opening of the All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938 came Bismillah's big break. He soon became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. When India gained independence on 15th August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Shehnai. He poured his heart out into Rag Kafi from the Red Fort to an audience which included Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later gave his famous Tryst with Destiny speech. So, it's a very significant moment when on 15th August 1947, when India gained independence, that he became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Shehnai, and he played Rag Kafi. Kafi is a raga in Hindustani classical music. He played it from the Red Fort, and the audience included Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India. And it's there that Nehru gave his famous speech, which is famous as Tryst with Destiny. Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances both in India and abroad. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan, where King Zahir Shah was so taken in by the maestro that he gifted him priceless Persian carpets and other souvenirs. Now, maestro means a distinguished performer. Actually, a distinguished performer of classical music. Nowadays, it refers to any distinguished performer of any field. So, King Zahir Shah was so impressed by Bismillah Khan's performance that he gifted him priceless Persian carpets and other souvenirs. Souvenirs are things given in memory of a place, person or event. The King of Afghanistan was not the only one to be fascinated with Bismillah's music. Film director Vijay Bhatt was so impressed after hearing Bismillah play at a festival that he named a film after the instrument called Goonj Uthi Shehnai. The film was a hit, and one of Bismillah Khan's compositions, Dil Ka Ghilona Hai Toot Gaya, turned out to be a nationwide chartbuster. Chartbuster means record breaker. You will be familiar with those terms. Despite this huge success in the celluloid world, Bismillah Khan's ventures in film music were limited to two. Celluloid is an old-fashioned way of referring to films. Venture, a project that involves a risk. So, okay, what should I say? Vijay Bhatt made a film about the instrument called Goonj Uthi Shehnai, and the film was a hit. And one of Bismillah's compositions turned out to be nationwide chartbuster. Apart from that, his work in film music were limited to two. Vijay Bhatt's Goonj Uthi Shehnai and Vikram Srinivas' Kannada venture Sanadi Appanna. I just can't come to terms with the artificiality and glamour of the film world, he says with emphasis. Underline that. You may get a question, why didn't he continue doing film music? What is the reason? He couldn't come to terms with, he couldn't accept the artificiality and glamour. That was not his cup of tea. Okay. Awards and recognition came thick and fast. Come thick and fast. What does that idiom mean? To come rapidly and in large quantities. You just write it down. To come rapidly, and awards and recognition started coming and pouring in fast and in large quantities. Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to be invited to perform at the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in the United States of America. He also took part in the World Exposition in Montreal, in the Cannes Art Festival, and in the Osaka Trade Fair. So well known did he become internationally that an auditorium in Tehran was named after him. Taha Musiki Ustad Bismillah Khan. So that shows that An auditorium in Tehran was named after him. Tehran is the capital of Iran. So an auditorium is named after him. That shows how popular he was worldwide. National awards like the Padma Shri, the Padma Bhushan, and the Padma Vibhushan were conferred on him. Conferred means given usually an award. Conferred means given, it's usually an award or a degree. In 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna. With the coveted award resting on his chest, coveted means much desired, even others envy such a recognition. With the coveted award resting on his chest and his eyes glinting with rare happiness, he said, "All I would like to say is, teach your children music. This is Hindustan's richest tradition. Even the West is now coming to learn our music." In spite of having traveled all around the world, Khan Sahab, as he is fondly called, is exceedingly fond of Benares and Dumrao, and they remain for him the most wonderful towns of the world. And Dumrao is one of Bihar's oldest municipalities. So these two places, and Benares is now it's called Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh, and it is one of the 7 sacred cities of Hinduism. So these two places remain for him the most wonderful towns of the world. A student of his once wanted him to head a Shehnai school in the USA, and the student promised to recreate the atmosphere of Benares by replicating the temples there. Replicating means make an exact copy. So he promised that I will make an exact copy of the temples and recreate the atmosphere of Benares in USA. You please come and head. Head means be the head of the institution, Shehnai school. But Khan Sahab asked him if he would be able to transport river Ganga as well. Later he is remembered to have said, "That is why whenever I am in a foreign country, I keep yearning to see Hindustan. While in Mumbai, I think of only Benares and the holy Ganga. And while in Benares, I miss the unique matha of Dumrao." Matha is a buttermilk drink, masala drink. Okay. Ustad Bismillah Khan's life is a perfect example of the rich cultural heritage of India, one that effortlessly accepts that a devout Muslim like him can very naturally play the Shehnai every morning at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Devout means believing strongly in a religion and obeying its laws and following its practices. So such a person, such a devout Muslim can very naturally play the Shehnai at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. That is the cultural heritage of India. Now just see what is given in that box. Shekhar Gupta, in an interview, he asked him, when partition happened, didn't you and your family think of moving to Pakistan? Bismillah Khan: "God forbid. Me leave Benares? Never. I went to Pakistan once. I crossed the border just to say I have been to Pakistan. I was there for about an hour. I said namaskar to Pakistanis and salam alaikum to the Indians. I had a good laugh." Now, Ustad Bismillah Khan passed away on 21st August 2006 at the age of 90 after prolonged illness. He was given a state funeral and the government of India declared one day of national mourning. So, hope the lesson is clear. Read the lesson 2 or 3 times. Go through the questions. Be prepared for the Google Meet meeting. Thank you.